It's another day in the game, and we're going to be down to 13 players, 3 of which are traitors. Last night, the faithful successfully got rid of another traitor, this time being James, though yet again, Nita was almost banished instead. With another murder taking place, we'll find out who survived the night and who did not between Yasu, Danielle, and Crystal. Inside the breakfast room, Alessandro is already seated, waiting for more arrivals to join him. In confessional, Alessandro feels like he has to question why he's still here. In fact, it doesn't make sense why him, Danielle, and Kristefany are still alive, considering they have a unique relationship unlike everyone else. At the moment, he feels like one of them could be a traitor. His other thought was Darren, since he could have kept the pre-made relationships around as shields, and then he eventually agreed to take out Cassandra, so he seems more innocent. However, he's leaning more towards the traitor being either Danielle or Chris. Back inside, Darren is the next to enter the room, and he says good morning and sits next to Alessandro. Darren immediately points out to Alessandro that there's only 4 guys remaining out of 14 people total. He's starting to wonder if one of the remaining guys is a traitor, specifically the reality star men. Alessandro says he promises it's not him, and Darren says the same. In that case, Jonathan could have been a traitor all along, but people don't see it. Kristefany then enters the room next, and she says hello to the boys and sits down. Darren asks Kristefany if she trusts Jonathan at the moment, and she says she's unsure about him. She doesn't talk with him one-on-one, so she doesn't know how to assess him in the game. Darren says that he's starting to think Jonathan is a traitor, assuming there's still another guy traitor. Jonathan has been against Nita majority of the season, and if Nita really isn't a traitor, Jonathan could be one who is latching on to any easy vote. Kristefany says that this theory has merit to it, but she doesn't know if others will agree with it. Nita walks into the room next, followed by Penelope, and then Danielle shortly after. Danielle sits down and says that she honestly doesn't think Nita is a traitor now. She feels like she has been jumped all season as an easy target, especially for the traitors. Nita covers her face, feeling super thankful right now. In confessional, Danielle says that it's hard for her to believe it's Nita because she wouldn't make it so obvious that she's siding with another traitor. Plus, there's no reason for James to target Darla over Nita. This is why she thinks that last night, there was a traitor versus traitor situation between James and Darla. It already happened with Darla and Haley, so this is the second time now. It can't just be a coincidence. Emma then walks into the room and sits down, still feeling tired from lack of sleep. Nita then asks the group how they feel about Darla, and Danielle immediately says that she thinks she's a traitor. The evidence lies in the votes. Both traitors that got out voted for Darla. There's literally no reason for James to target Darla last night out of nowhere. He could have just gone after Nita. Emma then says that it's also possible James was working with Nita to escape banishment, since they could both be traitors. In confessional, Emma says that she still thinks Nita is a traitor. It's bizarre to her how she's still here. Thank goodness they got rid of a traitor last night, otherwise she would have been pissed at everyone who did not vote for Nita. As for tonight's banishment, she'd love to say that Nita has to go, but that never actually happens. Nita basically has 20 lives in this game, so it's probably gonna end up being someone else going home. Back in the room, Olivia enters, followed by Darla, and then Sasha. Darren then asks everyone who just came in here about their thoughts on Jonathan. Darla says that she doesn't really see him being a traitor, mainly because of his personality though. Sasha also says that she never considered him being a traitor. Darren says that he just thought that perhaps one more guy is a traitor, specifically one of the 3 reality stars. That just leaves Yasu as a likely faithful. Penelope says that between Darren, Jonathan, and Alessandro, she unfortunately believes Alessandro is a traitor because Jonathan has been more consistent with his targets. Alessandro smirks and says he respects her belief, but she's wrong. Emma then tells Alessandro that she doesn't mean this in a rude way, but he has barely done anything in this game so far, so that's why he has to be considered a suspect now. In confessional, Alessandro says that this game can be tough sometimes because you can't always target the people targeting you back. For instance, he knows Penelope and Emma are likely faithful, but the fact that both of them are suspicious of him makes it so hard to play this game fair. He wishes he could just boot both of them so he has an easier ride to the end. Back inside, Amira enters the room next, followed by Zonathan. Nita then states that it's down to Crystal and Yasu, both players who did not volunteer for the shield. Darren says that one of them died guaranteed then, so Darla then stands up and shows everyone that she got the shield yesterday. Emma immediately looks around in confusion, and Penelope says that this has to be some sort of fake shield. Darla then asks why, very confused by the comments, and Penelope says that she just didn't know people wanted Darla to get the shield that badly. Darla doesn't comment back, but Danielle points out that people are voting more unpredictably because the obvious faithfuls are less likely to die. Therefore, people probably voted Darla as she isn't the most confirmed faithful here, yet she also still has a good chance of dying. Darla says that she thinks that's what ended up happening. In confessional, Zonathan says that he's sitting in his breakfast room chair, sweating from palm to foot. He just found out that he has the role of nurse for this next night. He will be saving 3 people of his choice from murder, basically giving away 3 shields. However, he cannot tell anyone about his power until after the next night's murder, or else he will be automatically banished. He hates keeping secrets, but now he's forced to, or else he will go home. He feels like the traitors want him to leak his power because he seems like the easiest to trick, but he won't do it. He's a smart man, smart enough to keep this a secret from everyone else. Back in the room, Olivia says that she hopes Yasu walks in, and Sasha says the same. Suddenly, the door starts to open, and everyone sees Yasu walk in as the final survivor. Danielle then confirms out loud that Crystal was murdered. Yasu sits down, feeling bad for Crystal, but glad he's still alive. Sasha says that the traitors likely targeted a person who wouldn't get banished anytime soon, and that fits perfectly with Crystal. Christephanie frowns and says that her Chris counterpart will be missed. In a flashback, Crystal is in the confessional room, finding out she was murdered. She frowns and says she's sad she was murdered in the end. It sucks going out this way because she still doesn't know who the remaining traitors are and why they murdered her. Perhaps she should have went for the shield after Cassandra's death. Perhaps the traitors felt threatened by the trio of her, Cassandra, and Darren. Either way, she's happy with her placement, though she wishes she could have caught at least one more traitor. Back in the breakfast room, Zonathan whispers to Amira, telling her that there's a twist that'll occur at some point, but he's not allowed to talk about it. Amira looks at Zonathan confused and laughs, asking him if he's joking around. But Zonathan shows a zipping motion against his lips. In confessional, Zonathan says that he currently trusts Amira a lot, and she sat next to him at breakfast, so he thought he'd give her a hint about his power. However, he didn't give anything specific away. This is just in case he is accused of lying tomorrow. He'll have his witness, Amira. The players now have time to roam around the castle, and because of Zonathan's new role of nurse, he has to keep it a secret from everyone else. Otherwise, he'll be automatically banished tonight. Amira talks with Emma alone, telling her that she needs to share some information with her regarding Zonathan. Emma smiles, saying she loves Zonathan so much. Amira awkwardly smiles and says it's actually about something not so great, so Emma asks what's up. Amira then spills the beans to Emma that Zonathan whispered to her about some twist that'll occur at some point in the game. That's all he told her. Emma asks her if she at least asked Zonathan to clarify, and Amira says she did in fact ask, but he refused to say. In confessional, Amira says that she never in a million years considered Zonathan as a traitor, but after their little whisper session in the breakfast room, she's having her doubts about him. If he knows about some twist but cannot talk about it, that could only mean that he's a traitor who knows about an upcoming twist. He seemingly trusts her, but since they are on opposing factions, he probably wanted to give her a heads up as a loyal friend. Back with the two, Emma says that this sounds extremely weird if true. Amira tells Emma that she's not lying to her. She told her this information because she fully trusts her as a fellow faithful. Emma sits in silence, processing this information. In confessional, Emma feels very off now about Jonathan. Why would he share such vague yet crucial information to Amira and not herself? They are supposed to be on great terms with each other. Something isn't right with his behavior all of a sudden, and she wants to get to the bottom of this. Emma then stands up and leaves, telling Amira that she wants to go confront him now. Meanwhile, Alessandro, Darren, Olivia, and Sasha chat, and Alessandro points out how every guy reality star voted out or murdered so far has been faithful. Him and Darren discuss the idea that a reality star guy is likely a traitor, and the only other person here that fits that criteria, apart from them two, is Jonathan. Sasha says that she personally doesn't think any of the reality star guys are traitors. She is still firmly against Kristefany and Nita. In confessional, Sasha says that she doesn't agree with Alessandro and Darren's theory about a reality star guy having to be a traitor. There could be two women traitors instead. She doesn't want to create any assumptions without proper evidence. Nita and Chris have so much evidence stacked against them, so it's wild to her how people refuse to vote them out. Back with the group, Olivia says she has to agree with Sasha on this one. She thinks Chris and Nita are the last two traitors. Darren says he isn't opposed to voting one of those two out for now, but his eyes are still going to be on Jonathan moving forward. Emma then joins the group, asking them if they've seen Jonathan anywhere, but nobody knows. Emma says that Jonathan told Amira that he's a traitor, so now she wants to confront him for acting fake all this time. All four people are shocked and confused. Olivia asks Emma for more information regarding this, but Emma says she has to go find him now. All the while, Jonathan sits alone outside, staring into the forest. In confessional, Jonathan says that he's finding this role of nurse extremely difficult to hide from the rest. He's trapped at this point because revealing it to everyone else will get him eliminated from the game. He doesn't want to be a liar in here. These next 24 hours will be the hardest 24 hours for him in this game. Back inside the castle, Emma continues looking for Jonathan from room to room, though failing to find him. She eventually finds Darla sitting alone, but quickly leaves her alone. Emma then enters the confessional room, and in her confessional, she's demanding for answers right now. She feels like herself and Penelope made such a good personal and game bond with Jonathan, but now that's down the drain because he apparently told Amira that he's a traitor. She just wants to get answers from him, but she can't do that if she doesn't know where the hell he is. Meanwhile, Darla finds Amira, Darren, Alessandro, and Sasha together, asking them what's going on with Emma lately. She seems very flustered, stomping around the castle with some dick-like attitude. Sasha fills in Darla that according to Emma, Amira told her that Jonathan admitted to being a traitor, but that's clearly not the case based on what Amira just told them. Amira confirms that she never said Jonathan exposed himself as a traitor. She would have called that out in front of everyone in the breakfast room. He only told her that there's a twist coming up, but he didn't clarify on what that twist is. In confessional, Amira breathes out because of how messy Emma has been acting this morning. She can't keep information to herself. In fact, she completely misinterpreted what she told her for whatever reason. It's starting to harm her own game because if Emma now believes her own lie, she'll continue spiraling like a maniac for no reason. Kristefany runs into Emma later on, and Emma immediately tells her that Jonathan has been confirmed as a traitor. Kristefany freezes for a second, really confused, and Emma tells her that Jonathan needs to go tonight. He told Amira he's a traitor. Kristefany is shocked, and in confessional, Kristefany sits in silence for a moment. She says that she's really confused by what's going on right now. Why did Jonathan tell Amira he's a traitor when he's not? He literally got the role of nurse. How is telling other people he's a traitor going to help him avoid banishment? It just seems very stupid of him. Emma then storms off, telling Christephanie that she's becoming frustrated because she can't find Jonathan or even Penelope now. Emma then checks the upstairs bar, but only finds Olivia and Nita chatting. Emma tells the two that Jonathan is a traitor, and both look at Emma in complete confusion. Emma then says she can't waste her time on them, asking right away where Penelope is. Nita says they aren't sure since herself and Olivia were chatting, but Emma says she doesn't care what they are doing. She just wants to find Jonathan. In confessional, Nita scoffs because of how confused she is right now. What did Jonathan do to create such chaos in this castle? In another confessional, Olivia says that she was just trying to do damage control with Nita, but Emma just barged in, calling out Jonathan as a traitor for literally no reason. This is starting to get fun, though it would have been nice if they could vote Nita out tonight because she can't trust her anymore after last banishment's vote. Emma then leaves the room, leaving Olivia and Nita flabbergasted. Nita says that this might just buy them one extra night in here, and Olivia smiles in response. Penelope is meanwhile with Yasu, telling him how she's pretty sure Alessandro is a traitor, and then Sasha comes in, telling Penelope that Emma is looking for her. Penelope then tells Yasu they'll continue their chat later, and off goes Penelope with Sasha to find Emma. All the while, Emma rants to Alessandro, Darren, Amira, and Christephanie at the bottom of the stairs, calling Jonathan the biggest manipulator in the castle. Amira tries telling Emma that she's confusing her own words, but Emma refuses to listen, continuously stating how betrayed she feels because she put so much trust into Jonathan these last few days. Her and Penelope both loved having him around. They would even call him a father figure, but now he put them up for adoption basically. In confessional, Christephanie laughs to herself because of how crazy Emma is acting. Mind you, Jonathan isn't even a traitor and Amira is trying to tell her she's confused, but Emma is such a loud mouth that she can't participate in the simple act of listening. Not to mention, she called Jonathan her father figure along with Penelope's, but Penelope is literally older than him. Back in the room, Sasha and Penelope find Emma with the others, so Emma immediately yells out Penelope's name in relief. Penelope tells Emma to sit down because she needs to calm down, and Emma starts crying to Penelope. She tells her that Jonathan is a traitor. He lied to them all along. Amira tries to cut in, telling Penelope that Jonathan never confirmed he's a traitor. He only talked about some twist that will occur later in the game. Penelope, who is super lost in this whole conversation, just tells Emma everything will be okay. She'll go talk to Jonathan herself to see what's up. Emma then tells her she can't because Jonathan disappeared from the castle. Nobody knows where he is. They need to vote him out tonight because she's not going to let him get away with lying to them all season long. With a lot of time passed from all this chaos, the players are told to gather in the courtyard for today's faithful crown ceremony. Everyone is then seated apart from Emma as she made the decision to stay in her bedroom for her own sake. Everyone else is then told that today's faithful crown ceremony will work differently. Instead of voting for someone to earn the shield, they will all participate in a trivia challenge. They will each be given a notebook with 8 questions on it. They will have 8 minutes to answer all 8 questions, and then the results will be gathered. Whoever has the most correct answers in the shortest amount of time will win the shield in secret. The bottom 3 scorers will not be allowed to vote at tonight's banishment. Since Emma is not competing today, she agreed to lose her vote at tonight's banishment, meaning only 2 more people will need to lose their vote. In confessional, Penelope says that so much has gone on in the last 20 minutes. Maybe even longer since she didn't witness anything Emma did. To her knowledge now, Jonathan is suddenly a traitor. All she knows is that she needs to win this shield because she can't trust anyone else out here. Everyone then takes time to answer the 8 questions given to them, and as a reminder, whoever has the most correct answers in the fastest time will win the shield secretly. In Darren's confessional, he says that this shield is very crucial for him. He just lost another ally to murder, that being Crystal. It was Cassandra just before that. To him, it's becoming evident the traitors want to wipe out more reality stars, so he might be next on the chopping block for them. Back outside, everyone is finished answering their questions. Nobody will know who won, nor who got the most correct answers. All they are told now is that Amira and Yasu are in the bottom 2 scores, meaning they will not be voting tonight. Amira sighs and says that she'll still voice her thoughts at tonight's banishment since a lot of air has to be cleaned up. Then, in Sasha's confessional, she's told that she got all 8 answers correct in the shortest time, meaning she has won the shield for tonight. She's super proud of herself, especially because people see her as a massive threat in this game. She has Chris and Nita sweating in their shoes, so she'll do her best to continue pushing their names out there tonight because another traitor has to go. Back outside, Penelope tells Jonathan that he has a lot of explaining to do tonight, but Jonathan is fairly confused by this. Sasha then cuts in, telling everyone to save this for the round table because she also wants Emma to be present. As the players have an explosive banishment to look forward to, it's about time we witness what will go down. Everyone is gathered in the banishment room, including Emma, who feels a bit better now. They are all reminded that Emma, Amira, and Yasu will not have a vote tonight, meaning only 10 votes will be cast. With that, the discussion may commence, and Emma immediately asks Jonathan to explain why he's not a traitor in front of everyone. She expects there to be solid points made. Jonathan looks very confused, asking Emma where this negative energy is coming from, but Emma tells him to cut the act. She's sick of his shit. Jonathan is speechless, unsure what is going on. Amira then chimes in to explain what's going on. She tells Jonathan that she told Emma what he told her earlier today at breakfast. He told her that a twist will occur soon, but he refused to explain what he meant by that. Jonathan's jaw drops, telling Amira that he only told her this information because he trusted her a lot in here. Emma then cuts in to say that she in fact trusted him too, but he didn't tell her this information and only told Amira. Danielle then whispers to Nita, telling her they could really use some popcorn for this. Jonathan then tells Emma that she's taking this way out of context. He never said anything about him being a traitor. He just knows something that other people don't. Emma then tells him to spill his guts. Otherwise, she'll vote for him tonight. Olivia whispers to Emma, reminding her she can't vote, so Emma corrects herself, claiming that everyone will vote for him if he doesn't explain what's going on. Jonathan starts to raise his voice, telling Emma he can't explain, but Emma takes this so negatively and tells Jonathan to never yell at her again. He then calls her a hypocrite because she's yelling right in his ear, but she then snaps back and says that he's a liar, manipulator, and betrayer of trust. He's not this faithful human being she thought he was. Emma then smiles in disbelief, telling everyone that Jonathan once told him that he sees her as his daughter, and she took that and felt so good about herself. She felt so good to the point where she thought Jonathan could never be a traitor. But here they are today, finding out he lied. Jonathan says that she's blowing this way out of proportion. She's not listening to what he even said. Emma says she refuses to hear him out anymore because he's not telling them what this twist is about. Amira then tries to explain that they should at least consider Jonathan is telling the truth about not being allowed to explain this twist to them. Penelope then asks why he brought it up in the first place, and Jonathan covers his face, starting to freak out. Darla then says that she's personally confused by what's going on with the back and forth between Emma and Jonathan, and Emma immediately interrupts and tells Darla to stay out of this because she has no place to talk as someone else who is a liar in here. Darla then tells Emma to shut up because she's sick and tired of her non-stop crying, and Emma starts spitting multiple curse words at Darla. Sasha shakes her head while this all goes down, commenting to Amira that this is some of the dumbest stuff she has witnessed since birth. Jonathan then yells out loud that he can't do this anymore. He refuses to abide by the rules he was given. He tells everyone that he was given a nurse role, giving him the opportunity to save 3 people from murder tonight. That's what he had to hide from everyone. Everyone stares at Jonathan in confusion, and Emma asks him when he got this power. Jonathan says he got the news this morning before heading to breakfast. The traitors picked him for this role. Darren then asks him to clarify how long this was supposed to last for, but Jonathan starts to sob to himself. He says they all basically eliminated him because of all the pressure put on him. He hopes they are all proud of themselves. Emma then says that she doesn't regret calling him out because he still prioritized Amira over her, and that to her is weird behavior because he never told her how close he was to Amira. Jonathan then wipes his face and gets up to leave due to breaking the rules. Alessandro asks publicly if this is all serious, and Kristefani says that this is unbelievable to her. Jonathan eventually leaves the room, leaving the other 12 players in complete disbelief. Emma says she doesn't regret confronting him, and Darla calls it a shame. Emma then asks if they can all just vote for Darla tonight since they can't do Jonathan now, but everyone is then told that due to Jonathan breaking the rules of revealing his nurse role to everyone, he will take the place of tonight's elimination, meaning the rest of them are safe. Yasu calls this a wild night, and in confessional, Yasu feels like the faithful just wasted a full banishment that could have been used to take out Kristefani or Nita. It's all thanks to Emma, the paranoia seeker. In another confessional, Emma says that she personally has no regrets regarding her reaction. She had every right to express how upset she was. At least she can call herself the most powerful woman alive here since she literally banished someone without even having a vote. After the most unexpected round table result in Traitors history, the remaining 12 players roam the castle, feeling uneasy about everything that went down today. In the kitchen, Danielle chats with Kristefani, calling Emma a typhoon that ruined the whole round for them. She was hoping Nita would be banished tonight. Kristefani says that she personally wanted to call out Olivia for being quiet, but she'll save that for next time. In confessional, Kristefani says that it's actually a win for the traitors now that the nurse role is out of play. Perhaps the traitors were smart for picking such an emotional player like Jonathan. Going forward, she needs to prioritize her relationships with the faithful. She trusts Danielle the most out of all the faithful, so she needs her on side when she throws out Olivia's name tomorrow. Olivia betrayed Nita the other night, so there's no chance a relationship can be salvaged anymore. Darla, Amira, Sasha, Yasu, Alessandro, and Darren meanwhile chat about tonight's events. Darla says that she can't believe Emma essentially bullied Jonathan to the point where he quit. That lady needs serious therapy. Sasha says that Emma is starting to piss her off with her attitude because it's ruining the faithful's chances of getting out traitors. This is probably the 3rd time now where Emma took out a faithful, and it's annoying as hell. In confessional, Sasha calls Emma a certified nutcase. She's throwing the game as a clear faithful. If after all of this Emma is a traitor, there's something truly wrong with this world. Back with the group, Emma and Penelope join in, and Emma immediately asks Darla to stop talking crap about her. Darla doesn't engage, proceeding to ask everyone else if they have any thoughts on who the traitors could be now. Emma says Darla's name repeatedly, but Darla ignores and asks again if anyone wants to say a name. Emma then yells out that she hates her, storming off to head to the bar. Penelope follows Emma, and so does Amira, claiming that she'll help calm Emma down. In confessional, Darla cries to herself because she did not want to come into this game having a showdown against someone else. It's becoming very personal now with Emma. She's a bully, and there's nothing she can do about it because these traitors refuse to murder her. She'd rather be murdered herself now just to get away from this demonic setting. With it being time for the players to head to bed, many say goodbye to one another as it may be their last time in the castle. Emma and Amira quickly chat as Emma apologizes to her if she offended her or anything close to that, but Amira tells her she never took anything as offensive. She still respects her in here because she's one of the only people who is essentially a confirmed faithful. Emma appreciates that from her and tells her she sees her as faithful. In confessional, Emma says that she has zero regrets today. Sure, she could have toned it down a bit, but it's all Jonathan's fault. He should have kept his mouth shut about his twist. Right now, she only trusts Penelope and Amira. That's all. After what happened with Jonathan, she has to consider everyone else as a suspect. She's still going after Nita until she goes, and she's obviously still going for Darla right after that. Inside the traitor turret, the three traitors stand cloaked in front of each other, and then they unveil their hoodies. Christephanie calls this day one of the most memorable for her because they not only experienced a banishment without a vote, but they also somehow saw the nurse go home. That means they don't have to worry about 4 shields, since someone won the trivia challenge today. Nita immediately says she didn't win the shield, and Olivia says the same. Christephanie then says that none of them have it, so they have to become wary of that for tonight's murder. Nita says that the reason the 3 of them are still here tonight is because of Emma, low-key. However, she still needs to be considered for murder since she's after herself and Christephanie. Christephanie says they obviously have no choice but to consider her. She's seen as one of the most faithful in here. Olivia thinks Emma will be a waste, though. There may come a point where people question why Emma is still here and then choose to banish her just to find out her true role. That's why she thinks it's better to murder Penelope. That strips away Emma's main number, which gives them more control as a traitor team. Nita suggests another name, though, that being Sasha's. Sasha is extremely smart in this game, so keeping her around for much longer will increase the odds of a traitor going home. Olivia admits that Sasha is the smartest faithful, and it's not even close. Christephanie then suggests Alessandro as a murder option, and she's only saying that because he whispered her right before bed that he didn't win the shield. Olivia jokes that Alessandro still has feelings for her if he's that comfortable sharing information, but Christephanie makes a disgusted face, refusing to think about that. Before Olivia goes through their murder options, Nita tells them that she had a last-second thought. She thinks murdering Amira could be a smart choice because she was the one who found out from Jonathan about this twist. If Amira has good social connections in here, that's a threat to their team. They need to eliminate that because there's a good chance she'll reach the end. Olivia and Christephanie don't see her as a great social player though, but Olivia says they can still consider her as a murder choice. Christephanie agrees and says that they are going to choose between Emma, Penelope, Sasha, Alessandro, or Amira. They all agree on a name and send the death note down the hole ahead. In one last confessional of the night, Olivia says that she needs to start building trust with the other faithful by throwing Nita and Christephanie under the bus. She needs to position herself to come off faithful for voting out 2 traitors. She needs to get to Nita and Chris before they get to her first.